and why, I guess. Have you heard about that?
Oh yeah, no, trust me, I've heard about it. It's been quite of a large conversation amongst us clerks. We did have a conversation. There are some counties that, yes, they have already heard that the Koppes board members are getting pretty heavy pressured to not certify, which in my just personal opinion, I think is absolutely ridiculous considering how much gains we were able to get as far as the Republican Party this election in Colorado. It's not really going to send the message that they're going to, and it's actually outside of the scope of the Koppes board members. So if the Koppes board members chooses to do that, they will probably be talked to from the DA due to the fact that that will be an election offense, and they could potentially be facing penalties and potentially even jail time. So I would highly recommend that they don't do that. Clearly, the state party doesn't understand those ramifications to those members and are putting them in jeopardy. So that's kind of my overall nutshell of it. And I know that our Koppes board member is not going to be doing that, so I'm thankful for that.
Who our Koppes board is?
Did someone send them a message that we won? Same.
Well, just briefly, I don't want to get down into the minutia of it, but what would be the logic they would be using for this?
Was it the password?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Like, well, so we won. Let's carry on.
Yeah, your nose the spike.
That's right.
Let's consider the players.
Take the win and keep trucking.
Yeah.
Marty, I got a couple questions. Thanks, Will, for asking that, because I was going to ask that. We determined our reorg is Feb 8, and we would humbly ask that you exert your offer to use your machines and your personnel to help us count the zillion bonus members on February 8th, 2025.
Okay, I will put that on the calendar and we'll plan on it.
Thank you so much. And did you say you're done today or you're finishing up tomorrow?
We were able to do our whole audit today, and so we passed our audit, so we're just waiting for the rest of the state to finish. And then we'll know if we have to go into round 2 or if we can move into certifying the election.
Dumb question, but for HG 19, Boulder has to count its 100 and some odd thousand ballots as well.
That is correct. Both of us have to do a full rescan. So that is why we're not doing it next week, because there's no way we could do it in 3 days because of the Thanksgiving holiday. So that's why we're doing it the first full week in December.
Okay, and it's statutorily due by then, or?
That is correct. It's statutorily due by December 6th.
Wow. Sorry. Y'all at the redistricting board. Any more questions for Carly Koppes?
Yeah, I have one for Carly. Carly, I've gotten a lot of questions from PCPs and folks involved with the Weld GOP concerning this whole password leak from the SOS. What can you tell us, and are the clerks doing anything to hold Jenna accountable?
Sure. So first off, it is definitely a fortunate event that happened. For most of the counties that were impacted, it was our backup pieces of equipment, so it wasn't actually any pieces that were being actively used in the election. So my son is hammering away with the cheese grater. Can I please have a thank you? But with that, there are definitely different things that the clerks are considering doing. Right now, we're just trying to get through the election and get it finished and wrapped up. That's the priority over doing any type of action against the Secretary of State at this point in time. One thing is the password leak, even though it was unfortunate, wasn't as a huge, severe thing as some members of our party would like to make it out to be, just due to the fact that you actually would have to get physical access to those pieces of equipment to even have utilized that. And you would also have to have the county's password and the county's access to be able to have an impact with those. The RLA has now proven that there was no impact, so nobody did have inappropriate access during that duration of time. What we all did, the clerks did, is we obviously have key card access into all of our areas that house our equipment. And so within 24 hours, I had reviewed all of our access logs, made sure that only my authorized people that I had done finger background checks on were the ones accessing that area, and also reviewing the video surveillance as well. And all the county clerks, we did that. And so the thing is we also train for situations like this. So we did a lot of different scenarios. So even the new county clerks kind of had an idea of what they needed to do as far as protocol. So we were able to make sure that everything was above board and everything was fine for this election, and also for the prior election, because obviously some people would like to try and put the June election in question too, but that just really isn't the case. So the one piece of the equipment that was impacted for Weld County was a backup client, and so it wasn't even used in the June or this election. So the reality of the scope is it's not 63 out of the 64 counties like some people were saying. It was only 34, and half of us, it was backup equipment. And again, the other half that was impacted, it was like a touch screen ballot marking device or one of the 3 or 4 scanners that they had. So again, not a huge major impact in the actual grand scheme of things. But like I said, we are having other discussions that we will resume once we get this election wrapped up. But right now, we just really need to focus on the election and finishing up.
Yeah, absolutely get that. I think the only thing I would share is I know a lot of our folks want to see something held accountable, so I'm sure you guys will do something as soon as you wrap up through the election.
No,
I'm pretty sure the legislature is going to take care of that for us.
Awesome. I hope so.
Anybody else? Last call. All right. Thanks, Carter.
Okay, this is Chris Schultz, District A. I'm kind of challenged as far as my skills on this, but I just did want to say that to-dos to everyone, and it was a wonderful time watching the returns.
Thank you, Chris. I totally agree. Is that your report from District A?
Yes, that is. And haven't seen anything like it since 78 me.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Almost like 2016. Oh, good. Thank you. Okay. Mark Blaskowitz.
Thank you. The hats off to Carly and her crew. Worked as an election judge at Ames, and it was an interesting 4 days. But that 4th day, we burned up 2 printers, and yeah, we had some people jumping around in line and pretty pissed off about it. And they were almost all wanting to vote on paper. Even the kids said, "I don't want to go to the tablets. Give me a printout." We overheated 2 printers, and the second one was brought in on election day. Same day, voter registration doesn't go. What happens, they hit you that was an eye-opener, about 4 o'clock on, the door was hammered, a couple hundred people in line, they're pulling out 3 IDs. If I would have been in my last career, I'd have taken a couple of them aside and cuffed them. It's a little ridiculous. Paper printouts, birth certificates, all kind of things, while you have legitimate voters 2 hours in line waiting for the job who's giving it New Mexico ID, giving it California ID, all kinds of IDs.
I'm pretty sure that's Bob Weiss.
And another party, what's your name in DOB?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. You saw it firsthand.
It wasn't fun, like I said. That's my GPD days. Yeah, it was. But you've got to also think of those couple hundred in there. I'm sure it's minor. Got to move on. Let's introduce something.